Hey everyone, it's Amador, and I have a design team project for ArtAttack supplies, and that's artattacksupplies.com. That's Tracy's shop, you guys. I'm laughing because this is like the third time I try to do this introduction, and I keep saying stupid things. Anyway, for this one I use the Forget Me Nots, and that's by Dove Crafts, and she has the 8x8 and the 12x12 at crazy low prices. Also, she has the new Tilda, and also the Bella Rose, the first edition papers, and they're all way cheaper than anything I found online, you guys. So go ahead and check it out, and I'll of course leave a link in the description. But this is the paper this is what I got in what I chose for my last design team package, and it has these garden themed, and they don't necessarily have to be garden. They could be spring, shabby chic, all sorts of stuff. But I felt I hadn't done garden, because I don't garden, but because I can't keep a plant alive to save my life. So, but I wanted to do something garden themed, and I thought this was a perfect pack for it. I decided, since everybody's making these resin embellishments and people are sending little embellishment kits to people as gifts, I'm like thinking, you know what, let's step it up. Something really cute for it to go in, and I was thinking of, with this paper, it automatically makes me think about gardening. So it makes me think about seed packets, and I've made little miniature seed packets before. I made mini albums and whatnot, and I even thought of making a mini album, but I'm like, you know what? How about giant seed packets for like little gift pouches, for your embellishments? So, and I've done like a few clay embellishments, YouTube videos and stuff, because I don't have the resin. But anyhow, I thought I would like to think of something really cute. So I was just going to make like simple seed packets and have them be flat. But I'm like, you know what? Some of these embellishments that we're making have quite a bit of dimension to it. So I thought of doing a little bit more of dimensional seed packets. So let me show you guys what I made. And I will also have attached to this a tutorial on how I with the measurements and everything, and how I made it. So you guys can follow along after this video. So that's why this video is a little long. So if you'd like to stick around, I was going to do it in 2 parts, but then I'm like, you know what, it'll go back and forth. So anyway, so this is what I made. I went ahead and made these seed pouches, and they have a 1/4 inch gusset basically, and I have Velcro. So in the seed packets, it has that little flap in the back, and it has a flap on the bottom as well. But this does have a flap, but I kept it inside so you can actually close this. So when you don't have embellishments, this can be lay down flat. See, lay down flat, and you can use it again, or the person that you sent it to can use it again, because you guys know I love packaging, but I also love it when things are reusable and full purpose, not just packaging and throw away. So, and this way it has the little Velcro opening for you to be able to open it and close it, because it, for it to be reusable. And I used heavyweight chip cardstock. I keep saying chipboard, cardstock for it, so it's very durable. So anyhow, on the inside is a card, which is almost the same size as the seed packet. But here is where you would attach your embellishments, and the person can take them out, and use it, but they can also use the little pouch, and it has the designer paper on both sides. And as you can see, I used as much of the paper as I could smartly for this. So you end up using, for each one, you end up using about 2 pages, and a 1 8.5 by 11 for the packet. So you don't have to make this if you don't want to, but it's there. So they all have these cute little images, these beautiful images with the opening seed packet. And it took me a little bit to figure out the measurements that I wanted to use for this. Was actually the first one I made for this project, to make sure that it was functional and you didn't have to use way too much of it to create these projects, because you want to make a lot of embellishments and a lot of little gifts for people. So this is perfect. This is perfect for a little swap. You can actually use them for your cards if you wanted to. You can actually use this to make, I'm going to use kind of the same idea to make a card set for another project that I have coming up. So yeah, but that is what I really wanted to make. I wanted to make giant seed packets. So yeah, you can use the little, make those little eyelet thingamajiggies, but this way it just closes real easily and simple for you to send out. But those are my giant seed packets, you guys. let me know what you guys think, and like I said, I will go ahead and attach the tutorial on how I made this with the measurements and everything, and it's the whole thing. It's pretty easy to follow. So yeah, that's why this video is so long. So I apologize for my long tutorials, but I think I need to say a lot to get it through to kind of explain, or maybe I'm just a little bit neurotic, or I just don't get everything wrong the first time. So because when I watch the tutorial, I probably watch it like 5 or 10 times. So but yeah, I totally like it, and it got a little acetate window. So yeah, I'm totally in love with these little my little giant seed packets. So yeah, so you guys go ahead and check out Tracy's shop. It is ArtAttackSupplies.com. You guys will find this in so many papers. I was thinking I could even use the Floral Pavilion or the Bella Rose to make these pouches. The Tilda, any paper. I would go with any paper. So yeah, so stick around to the tutorial, and I will talk to you guys. So here is how I made my little seed packet pouches. I went ahead and started with an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and it's going this way. So I went ahead and actually drew the lines on here with the pencil, so you guys can see and follow along if you'd like to make these. So on the lengthwise, we're going to score at 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 5 3/4, and 6 inches. I try to make this as easy because, you know, I'm a little mathematically challenged. So anyhow, so that is on the lengthwise. Now on the shorter side, we're going to score at 1/2 inch again, 3/4 of an inch, 7 inches, and 7 1/4. So yeah, so there it is. And I went ahead and sketched the line, drew the lines on there with a pencil, so you can see, because we are going to cut some of this off. So because this is going to be the top over here, this is going to be the flap that we use to glue it to the back of the packet, seed packet, so it closes well. And since let me grab one here, I made them also because the seed packets have the tab on the top and one that comes over the bottom, but I wanted you to be able to have this and then fold it, so if you wanted to store it and whatnot. And so instead of putting it out there and keeping it squared like that, it can store flat. So okay, so since this is the top and this is the bottom, we're going to go ahead and cut up to the score line on the bottom. And this side is the side that doesn't have any extra score marks or anything. So we're going to cut to the center one. So now we're going to cut all of this off right here and cut all of this off. So we're going to go ahead and just cut down to the center score line, and you're going to cut off the top part as well to finish the box. So this is what you end up with. And here, let me put this back. We cut off that part and we cut off the bottom part. So okay, so essentially this becomes the back, and this becomes this becomes the back, and then this becomes the front. So okay, so at this point we are going to, because the top has the rounded edges, we can go ahead and cut that, punch that out. And I've used the 1/2 inch corner chomper that I have here on both sides, and we will also do that to the piece of paper that will go on top. Now, since this one has the 1/2 inch and the 1/4 inch, I went in and used the 1/4 inch for the bottom one, so it is easier to go into the bottom of the box. Now, since this is right here, I went ahead and folded it and scored it on the score line, folded it, and went ahead and punched that, so that way I have a full straight edge with the corner punch with the 1/4 inch. So there is that. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and fold the other score lines. We're going to fold all of them, and they're all on the 1/4 inch, and that 1/4 inch is for, for it to have the space, and so it doesn't buckle. So we're going to do that with all of the score lines. Let's see here. Okay, so that's, see, and this is where it comes along to be the pack that folds in the back. Okay, so we fold this as well, and it's always very important to use a bone folder. I use my fingers sometimes, but it ends up cracking the paper, or you just don't get a full-on, a really good fold. Let me see here. So there we go, and that way when you open and close this pocket, this seed packet, it has it's instead of it being cracked or broken, the paper is pretty sturdy. So here we go. Okay. So essentially we're going to glue this, and the seed packet goes like that towards the back. So and generally, yes, they do have the front and whatnot, but we did it this way. I did it this way so it's easier to display everything. But first, before we close it up, we're going to go ahead and make the window. So the window, essentially, I just cut out by measuring 1/2 inch around the whole front part. And you can do that by, with this ruler, it has the 1/2 inch right there. So I just went ahead and did that, and I just cut it, leaving 1/2 inch on each end. So right there. The first ones I actually traced with a pencil just to make sure I did get the right measurement. So here you can actually align the ruler to get that 1/2 inch right here along with where the fold is. So that would be easier to see. And just start with the 1/2 inch right there and bring it all the way to where that ends. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to all the sides to make sure I have my window. And you see also the 1/2 inch aligns right there with the back end of it. I'm over here trying to do two things at once and trying to show you how I made this crazy mess. Okay, so see, and they align, you can align it with there and with that. And then just this one, since this is the last cut, will be the easiest. And of course I didn't do it all the way straight. But hey, you know what, it happens, and it's going to be taken out anyway. So there is the front of our seed packet. And so yes, so now we're going to go ahead, and by the way, before I forget, we're going to go ahead and put score tape. I generally use the white backed score tape, but I remembered I had this red line tape, and that way you can see exactly where it goes. So this is going to be the 1/4 inch that gives it the space, and we're just going to put the score tape right underneath the score line. You can see the score line is right there, and we'll just cut that off. We will come back to that in a minute. Okay, so, and I always go with my bone folder, or else you can't peel off the red tape. Okay, so now we're going to take care of the front image, and these panels, this panel is, oh, so essentially what you have is a 6 1/4 by 5 inch wide front space, and I cut 2 panels of this one, and this one is 4 3/4 by 6, so it's 4 3/4 by 6, one for the back part, and we'll go ahead and adhere. We can adhere that one right now. I just go ahead and grab my ATG gun because this thing is awesome, and always puts it in the middle. Okay, so then we're going to position it. So this is a 1/4 inch smaller than the outside, so it'll have 1/8 of an inch border along the actual image right there. So okay, so this panel, it's on the same size. I went ahead and then I took it and I ran it through my die cut machine. Let me take this out of the way so you can see better. With this, I think this is the Matte Stack 4 from MFT, and just positioned it right in the middle, ran it through, and there is my window. So that is the window, and this is the part that's going to go with the insert card. So I've already gone ahead and cut out my acetate piece, and this acetate is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and once again I used the red line tape so it was easier to see. So we're going to flip this over and take off, because I always chew my fingernails, I have to use paper piercer to take off the back line, the backing of the red line tape. Like I said, I used it so you guys are able to see where it is. Okay, so it's going to go on the back part of the front panel, and just position it right over the middle, and go over it with your bone folder to make sure that puppy sticks. Another reason why I didn't just use my ATG on this, on the acetate, since it is acetate, you want to make sure you get like a really good adhesive, and that one is really, the ATG is probably meant more for paper. So okay, so we have that, and now to the back of this, once again, to be able to adhere it to the front of the seed packet, I'm going ahead and applying red line tape. After, I didn't do it before, I do it after I add the acetate, so it'll go on the acetate and the actual paper as well. Okay, so it's just that quick, and we go ahead and add it to all sides, and then we're going to add this piece to the front, the full front of the seed packet. So there it is, and just go over it with your bone folder or finger, whatever you would like to do. Bring this back, and this is going to go, and I made it to match the same way. See right there? It's going to go right over here. So, and this covers it. It covers the window perfectly with the 1/2 inch section for the window right here. So just make sure I have it aligned right there, and I align it here, and like I said, since it's 1/4 inch smaller, this is going to have an 1/8 inch border along with that, with the front. So yes, so there it is. Okay, so for the top of the flap, all it is the piece that I cut off from either side. I went ahead and cut it back. This one is 1 inch by 1 inch by 4 3/4, and then I just went ahead and cut off, rounded the corners with the 1/2 inch punch, so it'll go right here. So this we can go ahead and adhere with the ATG or whatever glue runner you would like to use. I just like to use this one, especially if I have big projects and I have a bunch of them to do. Okay, so this is once again 1/4 inch smaller than the actual backing of it, and that gives it a border. So now we just go ahead and take off this piece of acetate that we put on there earlier, and the way I like to make sure I have it correctly is I fold it a little bit, and then I go ahead and hold it to right there to make sure it is aligned with the edge of the little box. So then I just go ahead and press it, but I also like to go ahead and press it with the bone folder to make sure that puppy sticks, because that is what's holding our whole piece together. And then this the bottom flap goes in. If I could stay in view here. And there we go. So that is basically, essentially, you have already finished your pocket. So I go ahead and use my Velcro pieces, which are right here, and I just use this one around Velcro pieces. I go ahead and put them together, and since I only need a small portion, I cut it in half, and then I cut it again. So basically, for these small pouches, we're only using 1/4. Okay, so I go ahead and I just kind of like eyeball where the center is, and then I put it right there after I take the backing of the adhesive from one of the sides, and then I go ahead and remove the other backing. And so okay, So there it is. I've already taken off the second backing, and I just hold it steady and press it for it to get to where it's gonna go. So, and you can go ahead and put them, closer to the lip of the label. So since our full piece is 5 by 6 1/4, I just went ahead and cut a piece of the same cardstock 1/8 less. So it's 4 by 7/8 and 6 1/8. So right there, and that way it slides in and out of the card easily. Let me see. But it's still snug enough that it gets in there for you to place your embellishments. So, and then we're going to take the part that we cut out from here, which could be any shape you want, and just adhere it onto this card. And I try to get as close to the edges as possible. And this is just going to be a backing, and this way you don't use a whole other sheet for this inside section. And we just place it in there, and it goes in the seed packet. Let's see here. If once again I could be in camera and see, and the image is basically the image you'll see in the back, and it is already in set. So that way you have your seed packet for your embellishments that you're going to send out, or just that you're going to make as gifts. Now these can be used for just about anything. You can use this also for a card. But like I think everybody's doing these resin embellishments or these clay embellishments, and that way you can place them on that back sheet, stick them in there. It's all in there. All you used for each one was 2 of the 8x8 sheets from the Forget-Me-Nots and 1 8.5 piece of cardstock. So, and just a bunch of adhesive. Oh yeah, and the acetate. Totally losing my mind there. So yeah, so those are the seed packets for your embellishments or for your cards. So hopefully this tutorial was a little bit helpful as well. And let me know how I'm doing on these tutorials. I feel that I have to figure out how to fast forward on my iPhone with this, but that is what I thought would be a really good idea. So go ahead and you guys check out the ArtAttack supply shop for this and many other papers. So yeah, look at that. You can use any of the collections to make this, and they don't have to be garden themed. I just saw this and this paper collection, and I felt like it was garden themed. And I'm like, the first thing I think of is seed packets. So yes, so hope you guys like it, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye everyone.